It's your favorite realtor, Frank Versace, the best name in real estate. And today we've got a great video for you with a market update of the Winnipeg real estate market. Let you know what happened last year and maybe a couple predictions of where we're going here in the future. So let's get to it. First thing we want to look at is total units sold for the month of December this year versus last year. And this year in the month of December, we had 742 units. That's the total number of properties sold for the month of December versus last year where we had 626 properties sold. And that gives us a nice bump of 19% increase in the number of units sold. Now, when we take a look at the total units sold for the entire year, year to date, January to December this year versus January to December last year, we also have a nice bump there as well. Last year, we sold 12,959 properties. And this year, we sold 14,957. So that gives us a jump of about 13% for total properties sold. Now, what about if we break down houses versus condos? Because that's something that people like to know. They're kind of a little bit of a different market. And so when we look at houses, this year we had, in December, 468 homes sold versus last year we had 405 homes sold. So that gives us a nice bump of activity of about 15% more properties. Now, what about for condos? Because condos operate a little bit different, as I mentioned. So for condos this year, we had 120 condos sold versus last year in December, we had 102. So that gives us a nice jump again of 18%. And so why is this important? Because as we're seeing more property turnover, that indicates in the marketplace that there's that strong demand. And certainly if you're a seller, you like to see strong demand. And if you're a buyer, well, you like to see that there's inventory that's moving in, fresh properties coming on the market. Another thing people like to take a look at is what's called DOM for real estate lingo, and that stands for days on market. That's the time it takes to sell. And so for houses, we're looking at about 45 days to get a house sold in the month of December. For condos, a little bit quicker actually, selling in about 36 days. So a little bit stronger demand in the condo market for the month of December over houses, but again, still moving relatively quickly. So if you're a seller, you might be wondering, wow, it's going to take me 45 days to get my home sold. Or if you're a condo seller, you might think it's going to take 36 days. However, one thing to consider in that equation is what is the likelihood that you're going to sell your property for, at list, above list, or even under list. So let's take a look at those numbers. For the month of December, we found that 28% of homes were selling over the list price. So those ones obviously were selling very quickly, and they would be on the market and off the market, and the price went up. At the list, we found that 8% of homes were selling right at their number. And then for under list, we found that about 64% of homes were selling below their asking price. And so if you're a buyer, that's the number you want to pay attention to, because as a buyer, certainly you want to pay less 64% of the time. And as a seller, you'd like to get more. And that's happening 28% of the time in the month of December. Now, let's take a look at something we like to call the absorption rate. And what that does is it tells us what type of market we're in. Are we in a buyer's market? Are we in a balanced market? Are we in a seller's market? So a buyer's market is where the buyers are winning, the seller's market is where the sellers are winning, and the balanced market is where it's kind of an even Steven. So let's look at houses versus condos for the month of December. The way we figure this out is we take a look at the active number of properties that are listed versus the number of properties that are sold. We want to try to figure out how long is it taking to clear all of that inventory down to zero. And that's going to give us what's called our absorption rate. And so for the houses in the month of December, there was 1,005 houses listed for sale. And as I mentioned earlier, there were 468 properties that sold. So very quick math, we take 1,005, and if we're selling them off at 468 properties per month, that's going to take approximately 2 months to clear out all the inventory down to zero. So what does that mean? Well, we're in a seller's market if it takes less than 3 months to clear out inventory to zero. We're in a balanced market if it takes 3 to 5 months, and we're in a buyer's market if it takes more than 5 months. So with houses taking 2 months to clear everything down to zero, that puts us squarely into a seller's market. Now, what about for condos? Well, for the month of December, we had 260 condos listed for sale, not that many. There were 120 that sold, and again, 260 divided by 120, that puts us at about 2 months worth of inventory, and 2 months, again, puts us into a seller's market. Now, for some fun facts, people like to know, give me a range of the market in Winnipeg here. So for the month of December, our highest price sale was 1.9 million, and our lowest price sale was 27,500. So that's quite a disparity here in our market. Now, one of the things that people also like to check out is average prices. And so they want to start doing a little bit of math in terms of maybe what their property's worth in their mind. So the way we look at that here is we check out the average price of houses versus condos in Winnipeg. And then we've got an average square footage as well. And so when we take the average price divided by the average square footage, we get an average price per square foot. And that's kind of the number that everybody likes to know. So in Winnipeg, our average price of a home was $424,000, which by the way is up 6%. So for all you homeowners, there you go. You just gained 6% in equity. And our average square footage is 1,398 square feet. So if we take 424 divided by 1,398, that gives us $303 per square foot for houses on average in Winnipeg. And for condos, average price was $272,000, which again, also that was up 6% over last year. So congratulations to the condo owners. And average condo size was 1,050 square feet. So if we take 272 divided by 1,050, that gets us $259 per square foot on average for a condo in Winnipeg. Now, before you start running the math on your own home or your own property, keep in mind that these numbers do vary from area to area. Also, they vary by condition. So the better the condition of the home, of course, the more price per square foot. And the age, that's another thing. So when you're looking at a new home, you can expect to pay more per square foot than you would on a older home, in some cases, depending on if it's been updated. And what I would recommend is if you're watching this video and either you're a buyer, maybe you're a seller thinking about selling, and you're wondering what your property is worth, I would recommend you reach out to me and let me know that you're thinking about selling. Even if it's something that's way in the future, that's fine. We can get together, take a look at your property. It's really good to get eyes on your home. So I would come and visit your home and run some comparable numbers for you where we really get specific in terms of homes in your area, similar size, similar style, similar condition. And now we're going to fine tune that number for your specific property. And again, there's no cost, there's no obligation. So I'm happy to do that for you. Just reach out and we'll make sure you're taken care of. And certainly if you or anyone you know is thinking about selling or buying or maybe investing in real estate, we absolutely love referrals. So the best way to do that is to get us connected with the person. Maybe you could share our name with them or you could share their name with us. Actually, it's better that way because then we make sure we can get in touch with them and take care of them. So I hope you've enjoyed this information. I'll be back again with some more detailed market information in the future. And take care, stay warm, and stay positive, and Happy New Year.